Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ice Age. My name is Iceman. I'm bringing you some more Halo 4 multiplayer gameplay. Today I've got some Capture the Flag on Shatter, which is one of the Crimson DLC maps. I recently put out a video kind of reviewing that, and I just want to say this is not a review. I have done videos about the 3 Crimson maps, so if you haven't seen those already, definitely go check those out, get my opinions on those. This is just pure gameplay because it was awesome, and I have a really great game. It's kind of long, but that means that there's more time for you guys to see some awesome stuff. So anyway, like I said, capture the flag. Later in the game, I go on a killing frenzy. I get the flag champion medal. I think my final kill death is something like 34-7. So you guys definitely should have some really good stuff to watch while I'm talking about the gameplay. So at the beginning of the game, I kind of wanted to talk about general tips for both Capture the Flag and Shatter, but keep them kind of separate from each other, and then later I'll talk about, specific to this game, how to play Capture the Flag on Shatter. So anyway, Capture the Flag in general, as you guys know, Halo classic objective game. Really good teamwork-based gameplay, especially multi-flag, which is, I think, the only Capture the Flag option in Halo 4, but really forces you to mix and match between offense and defense to capture the other team's flag and defend your own. So specific tips for Shatter would be to use the terrain a lot. 343 put a lot of time into designing these funky green looking rocks and stuff, and they are really useful for the strategy that you can employ around the map. So specifically to the bases, they are very nice and open, so that you can see into them from the outside and outside of them from the inside. Imagine that. But they do have some spaces which are nice for some really strong defensive play, which you'll see me do later. So it's not impossible to be in there and defend the flag, but it is definitely simple to get in there to take the flag. There's a couple routes, a ramp on the outside, a ramp on the inside, and some airlifts, I think. In addition to the main bases, there's a teleporter in there which will take you out to one of the mini bases, which is pretty much the direction I'm looking right now, over, I guess, to the left, which are smaller bases. The flag is not in there, but there is some good vantage point opportunity for getting on top of the smaller bases to see down the sides of the map, which kind of leads me to my next point, that Shatter has some pretty nice sight lines, but it isn't completely rectangular. It doesn't let you see all the way down the map like a map like Harvest would. But the open sides, which extend from both the left and the right of the main bases, are really nice opportunities for you to get some long-range battles in, if that's your style. So that in mind, I'll talk a little bit more about the Capture the Flag routes, and those definitely play in a lot with where people do go and where people should go, and I'll definitely give you guys my opinions in a little bit on that. So, specifically for Capture the Flag on Shatter, like I was saying, the bases are really well set up for a multi-team, multi-flag game like this. You see here, I went through the teleporter to one of the mini bases. A lot of people like to use these as kind of, I guess, hiding spots while they're playing defense on Capture the Flag, and some people even camp in here with snipers or invisibility, I guess active camo, whatever. And I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of that. It's a little cramped in here for me. There's no reason the flag would ever be in here because it's really out of the way of where you would be taking it. But it is, like I said, a good place for some people to hold up and play defense. So right now, I'm just kind of running around, doing random things, not really playing the objective at the moment. I'm just trying to escort my teammate a little bit while I wait for the flag to spawn back in again. So, Shatter has some really nice running routes for Capture the Flag, and that kind of relates to another point, that there are no vehicles on this map which you can use to help capture the flag, you know, minus some sort of creative ghost hopping or something like that. There's no mongooses, no warthogs. All the capturing is going to be done purely on foot, so keep that in mind. If you want to go score the flag, you can't really have your buddy come up and drive you to your base. It's just not going to work out. There's nothing to do that with. But with that in mind, there are some really nice options for you to bring the flag back on foot, and I would definitely want to talk a little bit about those. So anyway, using the higher ground in Shatter is key, because there are some very large altitude differences between, say, the top of this ramp I'm looking at and the underpass down to the left under this bridge right here. That's a very, very large height difference, like you saw right there, and use opportunities like that to your advantage, especially if you're on top of one of the giant green rocks or something like that. When you take the flag from the base, which you will see me do in a little bit, I have, I think, 3 flag captures, and I use the same route every single time, and it works like a charm. So a lot of people, when they take the flag, they go straight down the small ramp in front of you into the teleporter, which will take you out, like you saw before, to the side of one of those mini bases. If you don't have escort, like if you can't talk to your teammates or something like that, that is a really, really horrible idea. Nice little achievement right there. I definitely like getting those. And the reason it's a bad idea is because it's so open out there, and you also can't use your radar to tell if there's anybody camping in that base from the other team. I've seen that happen to a lot of people. It's happened to me once or twice. You just want a quick escape from the main base, you jump in a teleporter, and you spawn kind of into the middle of the rest of their team. It's a quick and painful death for you, and a nice easy stop for them. So, keeping that in mind, there are 2 other routes that you can take which don't involve teleporters. One of which comes right down here through the middle, and I don't use that one too much just because the middle underpass is very, very open. It's designed for vehicle travel, so there's not going to be a lot of cover, because that would obstruct the ability of the vehicles to drive through there. But you can use it for some nice footwork if you want. But right here you'll see me use my favorite path, which is to take the flag straight out the right window and take the little ramp that comes up right down and drops you into the side of the underpass. And the reason I like this path so much is that it has a ton of cover. Like you saw, you can hug the wall right up the ramp. There's these huge rocks right here for you to hide behind, and it pretty much dumps you straight next to the ramp on the inside of your base, which will lead up to the capture point. I use this route all 3 times I score the flag in this game, and I would highly, highly, highly suggest it to anybody else who's playing this game on this map. You can try the other ones as well, especially if you have, you know, some good teamwork or communication, things like that. But as I wasn't playing this game with any friends, I was forced to take the more covered route for myself so that I could ensure I would bring the flag back safely. So the short ramps on the side of the map, which you'll see here to the left that I'm running towards, are good for things that aren't capturing the flag as well, because they give you that higher ground advantage, especially over the underpass, and you can see somewhat into the back of the opposing team's base. They are definitely a good thing to use even in Slayer, because it gives you a lot of, I guess, open sight lines, not some of the longer ones that you can get from the main base out the windows, which I was talking about earlier, which is to the left of where I was right now, but definitely some good opportunities for DMR, sniper, laser battles, things like that, so that you can kind of keep the enemy at bay. And so pretty much straight in front of where I am right now is what I was talking about. Those really long open sides are really nice for DMR duels from the top of the base. But like I was saying, the short ramps to the side are really awesome for covered routes, if you're looking for more close range battle, or an easy way to get to actually to the top of the bridge that goes over the underpass if you wanted to get to the machine gun turret or something like that. So here you'll see me get into their base using one of the airlifts, and I almost fall for it. I almost go into teleporter because I saw the ghost behind me. decided against it and pulled it out to come out to my favorite route, trying to dodge the mantis right here. And you see me hugging the wall and using the giant rocks as good cover. This is key to scoring flags on Shatter. It's very important that you keep those large obstructions between you and your enemies, because otherwise the rest of the ground is so open, there aren't any little rocks laying around, it's just the big ones, so you won't be able to easily run between one base and another. So anyway, you see the score is 4-3, and I told you I got 3 flag captures, meaning I get the last 3 of the game. Pretty proud of myself for that. You've been seeing me doing a lot of killing as well as playing the objective. This is a really good game just because I got to play both. It was a really nice opportunity that I didn't have to just play one or the other because my team didn't want to or something like that. So here, like I was saying, you can play some really good defense in the bases. It's not so open that it's impossible to be in here and play D. It's just a little bit more difficult, especially with the DMR, because it is so close range. The bases are not that large, especially like the flat ground areas of the bases. But you can do it, especially if you have, like this guy does, one of the machine gun turrets really put down a lot of fire. So that's a great way to do it as well. Some general flag carrying tips. Wow, I don't know how I killed that guy with the blinding light and the screen shaking and everything, but I don't know, maybe it's just my pro elite skills, whatever, you know, no big deal. Like I was saying, flag carrying tips in general. Be aware that the pistol, I guess the flagnum is what it's called, has a damage boost while you're carrying the flag, and it also has infinite ammo. Ninja. Nice. Anyway, and so you should use that as much to your advantage as possible. You'll see me do that on this last run once I grab flag. Make sure you reload, because 8 bullets is not a lot, even with a damage boost. You're not going to be killing lots of people with one magazine of the Magnum while carrying the flag, but it is definitely better than nothing. So make sure you reload constantly, even in the middle of shooting somebody. If they jump behind a rock or something, definitely do that. Make sure you hug the wall, like I was saying earlier. Cover is your best friend, especially when you might be a little bit slower. You might not have as much firepower just because it is a pistol, regardless of how much damage it does. And make sure you are staying near your teammates so they can give you some backup, like you see me doing in this round. Now here I want to talk a little bit about the sightlines again, because I do have the sniper. Right now I'm not taking advantage of one of the really longer sightlines, which would be over to the right, but I am kind of providing covering fire on their mini base from the bridge, and then I move up and to do a little bit shorter range sniping. Same idea though. Get some nice headshots, I think 2 or 3. Not one of my better sniping games, but still pretty good for me in general. Being able to hold them at this base where a lot of the red team spawns are is really important if you want to go in there and get the flag. So my team has brought it out, but was taking it towards the mini base, which, like I was saying, is not a great idea usually. So I just take the flag once he drops it and just take it straight back through my favorite route. Pretty much untouched until the very end, I think, because being able to split between the outer edge and then this underpass right there by taking the side ramp really makes it hard for the enemy team to follow you. And it leads to some easier flag captures, I think. So anyway, like here, I'm using the reload and the damage boost to my advantage very much. Get the kill, get the killing frenzy, go in for the final score. Like I said, I think my final score is 34-7. I get like 850 points or something ridiculous. But until next time, peace, love, and ice.